about joy, the sacral chakra, you know, maybe kind of getting you to think about what's happening during the season for yourself, right? Because a lot of times we are so focused, outwardly focused on making everything so perfect,
and
but
making everybody happy.
And yeah, making everyone happy. But like, are we actually listening to ourselves? Are we getting into our bodies and out of our head? And yeah, having that sort of energy.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about joy a little bit? Because the sacral chakra is about joy, sensuality, sexuality, how we express ourselves, the way we're creative. And I think maybe let's just have a small chit chat about joy, because I think that it can be hard to find it, right?
Yeah. Especially if you're going through a hard situation.
Yes.
It is. I know from my own experience, and then you and I were talking before the show that, you know, doing this inner work and healing, the healing process or the healing journey, we can take it so seriously and be stuck in that loop of trying to heal ourselves. Oh, there's something else that I need to heal, right? And it doesn't have to be without joy. There is, you know, we have to find ways to connect to that. Like even the best guideline I can give people, and I have given that to some of my clients, connect to your childhood. There's events that happen where you feel the most joy, you feel present there. Think about any memory that you remember really well, because whether you're in a low frequency or the highest frequency of emotions, you would always remember that. The way that your brain captures those memories, they'll stay. And you'll remember even details, what you were wearing, what happened, who were you with, right? And so those joyful moments, remember, connect back to that.
Yes. I think the other way to kind of spark a little bit of joy is kind of what you said, but activities that you liked to do when you were younger, right? I mean, we go through a lot of evolution, but like revisit those things and then decide if those things still bring you joy. I also say, like, do things that, like, for instance, I get a lot of joy when I spend time with my son doing activities, right? So
I love, and this is what I love about kids.
Sprinkles,
it brings the kid in you, right?
Yeah, of course. Because, like, they are experiencing their life in such a different way than we are.
Yeah.
You know, I like to think that I like to sprinkle magic into my life by the things that I do. But I have to be very intentional about that. Yeah, because going through the healing journey is very difficult. And like Vanessa said, like, you can feel like there's absolutely nothing to look forward to.
That's right.
But, you know, deep down inside, if we dig and we really like connect with ourselves, that will, our bodies and souls tell us everything. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one of the things, especially in this holiday season, if we're going to focus how to find your joy in this time, you know, what are the moments that you would like picture or visualize? How would you like to connect with your family, your friends, and your coworkers even? You know, what would be like to have a gathering where everybody is at peace, everybody's sharing food, great drinks, pastries and sweets, right? I love sweets. So, you know, that brings joy in people, you know, having beautiful, loving conversation. However, you know, rocks your boat. I feel like connecting to that and what the holiday is about. It's not just about the shopping and, you know, the all the stuff that, you know, we find very common right now in this society.
Yes.
That is supposed to be the holiday. I think we've lost a little bit of that meaning of the holiday season. So connecting back to that and finding joy in the things that matter, that really is about gathering and spending time together.
Yeah. And if you're in a, I know some people don't have families, some people have lost family members during this time of year. Loss and grief is very difficult. I would encourage you to branch out and look and see if there's any clubs you can join, if there's any communities you can join where you feel like you have a place there.
Yeah.
Because I know that families are not always the places where we find comfort and joy. And that is the hardest time, especially around this time of year. So look for places outside of you where you can connect, if you're ready for that, right? Because you have to have sort of you have to be prepared for doing something like that. But just know that you're not alone. And, you know, there are always places that you can go and find to feel like you are loved and accepted and celebrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing that goes a long way is, you know, if this is the case for you, maybe you want to volunteer to serve food on a place, like on a place where there's people that have more in need, you know, and that it brings a great sense of fulfillment to your life because you're doing something for someone else rather than focusing on yourself. And you know, maybe you don't have anybody to spend it with, or you know, you're going through a difficult situation. So sometimes serving other people in different ways can bring more peace and more harmony and more union to others. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're making somebody else happy.
Absolutely.
And yes, and then will bring that sense of fulfillment.
There's joy and purpose, right?
Oh yes,
There's joy
absolutely.
and purpose.
And this is why I've changed my, you know, my career so many times because I wanted to find my purpose. However, the moment your purpose finds you, and when you start living your purpose is when you're being more purposeful. So I find that is also very peaceful and joyful and fun.
And fun, yeah.
You know, the holidays come with a lot of stress for a lot of people, you know, between having to go to work, shopping, going to parties, events, you know, your energy is all splattered, so split. And there will be events that you are not sure if you want to say yes to. And I feel like sometimes you have to say no in order to honor yourself, your energy, and how you're feeling about that event. Are the people that you're going to be surrounded with, are they going to bring you down or are they going to elevate you? So I would always ask myself the question, am I going to have fun? Am I going to be enjoying myself in events like that? And so it comes with questioning and, you know, honoring yourself.
And I think that maybe we should talk about what happens when we can't say no, right? I think we need to have a plan for that because I think that if you are very tied to your family systems,
right,
and there's an expectation for you to be there and you don't want to be there, how do we deal with that, right? That's the big question. So I would say that when we are maybe engaging in stuff that we are not 100 with,
right,
the first thing is like setting a boundary for yourself. So last time we were together, we talked about our root chakra and how that really grounds us to who we are, what we want, the boundaries that we want to set, right? And just knowing, like, have a plan for how you're going to deal with that.
Exactly.
Right? That's the first thing. So what are you going to engage with? What are you not going to engage with? If you need a minute away from everybody, what are you going to do? Right? I used to go into the washroom. You know, I used to take some deep breaths. I used to come up with a mantra sometimes, like, I am safe within my body, you know? So have a plan for how you will deal with something when you feel like you don't have a choice to say no.
Absolutely. And that is a great, you know, leeway to our next exercise. Well, I won't call it exercise, but a next step. And that's going into a meditation. And if it's safe for you to do this with us today, great. I invite you to take a moment, find a space where you can sit alone and nobody can bother you, and you can focus on the present moment. And this is something that I often do when I feel a trigger, like, especially in gatherings, somebody says something, something is happening, and you have to deal with different situations, people's, attitudes or anything. So this can always ground you. And I find that starting with the breath, remove yourself from the situation or the person, and find a safe place for yourself. Sit with yourself and just breathe, right? And so, you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you can close your eyes, plant your feet on the floor, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths, starting through the nose, holding for about 2 to 3 seconds. We're going to do 3 seconds hold and releasing through your mouth. But when you're releasing, you're going to extend the exhale. So let's do a count of 4 for the breathe, for the inhale, a count of 3 for hold, and a count of 6 for release. And let's do that 3 times, and then I'm going to guide you through a meditation. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's close our eyes. And you can put your hands on your lap and then just rest your feet flat on the floor. So I'm just going to do that so I can ground better. That's a count of 4 and hold for 3 and release through the mouth. Inhale. Hold. Release. Inhale. Hold. Release. One more. Inhale. Hold. Release. And as you stay in this moment, just focus yourself in the environment. What can you hear in a moment? If there is just sounds, if you can just hear my voice, whatever sounds in your surrounding area, it's okay, let it be there. Voices, music, whatever is around you, just let it be accepted. If any thoughts, feelings, emotions come to you right now, just let them be. They're just visitors. Acknowledge them and keep focusing on your breath. You don't need to breathe any differently. Just, if you can anchor either on how the air feels in your nose when it goes in. Is it warm? Is it cold? Is vitality? Is your life force? And the moment that you're breathing is life. You're alive. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat. And it's alive. You are alive. If you can taste anything or smell anything, maybe a candle, maybe your own perfume, the smell of your own skin, your clothing, just embrace it and accept it. If you're feeling triggered by something that just happened and you're taking this break, just allow it to be there. Maybe just ask yourself the question, why am I triggered? And I want to remind you that triggers are things that are teaching us something about ourselves. Whatever that person or something that happened trigger you, it's just a projection coming from someone else or the situation. And so if you take the perspective of that trigger to be a teacher, you can have a nice eye-opening in your mind. Remember, you can't control other people or anything that's happening in your environment, but you can control how you perceive it, how you feel it, and how you relate to that. And so having that compassion for yourself can extend the compassion for that person. People will always speak however they feel, however they think, and that's okay. Embrace this moment to be a teaching moment, to relax. And take a deep breath now again. And release through your mouth. And let's be grateful that we are all gathered, just having a great time. Enjoy yourself. Bring the joy. Enjoy food. Enjoy a laugh. Focus on that. Everything else will just dissipate. And may you be well, may you be prosperous, may you be at peace and in harmony in this holiday season. Thank you. Take a deep breath. And then move your fingers or your toes to come back to this moment.
That was beautiful. Thank you for bringing us through that.
Yeah,
I think that it's really important that we go into hard situations with tools, and I think this is why we came together to do these
Yes.
the Glow and Flow show with you guys, is because we just want you to feel like you have the tools and the autonomy over you,
Exactly.
yourself, and the way you react to things, because that's the most powerful thing that we can have in our toolbox, I think.
Yes, and there was a time that I always was so frustrated and stressed out, and I remember the first time one of my counselors took me to something similar, not exactly as elaborate as this, but the moment I have no thoughts, no worries, everything just disappeared. And if we can do more of that in our daily lives, you will see the rewards. But it takes practice, it takes commitment and discipline to take those moments, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just breathe and feel your heartbeat, feel your breath going in and out. It is life-changing. So my invitation is for everybody to take a moment, and especially in such a stressful time of the year.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this would be a good time to pick a card from the Butterfly Within Oracle card deck. See what we have in store, and then we will do a saging where you guys will actually be able to set an intention for your holiday, right? Setting an intention is really, really important. So we're going to get all of those negative energies out, and we're going to fill ourselves with the opportunity to set an intention for how we want things to be and how we want them to go.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important.
Yeah, and I love that because we walk every day with no intention. Mm-hmm. Or maybe our intentions are so focused on, being an automatic, and we don't even think about that. And so get up in the morning and, take the deep breath and say, today is going to be a wonderful day. And even if at the end of the day, you go back and you say, well, today was not wonderful, But I invite you to look at the moments, and they could be micro moments when everything was good, everything was okay.
Yes.
And focus on that. Because our activating system in our brain will start focusing more and filtering more of the good moments, and until you will see the perspective, and you see the world on a different perspective.
Yeah, I agree. So this one here is popping out.
Okay.
It's presence. So it says, in the here and now, you are whole. That state of presence is where true magic unfolds.
Beautiful.
I love this.
It's so in tune with what we're here to do today, and that's the intention as well.
Yeah, so it sings on the back. All of this art is by Michelle Cornish, my co-author, so she's made each of these cards. And these sayings are actually from the second book, The Butterfly Within.
Yes.
All right, so let's set an intention for the holiday season. I actually have some lavender incense going to keep us nice and calm.
Yes.
Because lavender does have, well, you know what, most people get calm with lavender, but lavender can invigorate people too. I've noticed throughout the years that it has a different effect. For me, it relaxes me.
Yeah.
So
same here.
Good one for lavender.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sage. Okay, I'm using some white sage, and basically the intention is just to clear any negative energies, clear your space, okay? And when we do that, we are going to think about what is it that you want to bring to your life in this holiday season? What kind of energy do you want to have? Okay? What kind of energy do you want to share with others? Because it is really important how we bring our energy, right?
Yeah.
We can't do anything with anyone else and how they're feeling, but we can definitely set the tone.
Exactly.
Okay? So I think that being able to set an intention is a very strong thing that we can do in our lives. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I would say I will share mine first. My intention for this holiday season is to make sure that I'm giving myself the time and the grace to rest when I need to.
Yeah.
That's a huge intention for me because I'm always doing something. I'm always needing to cater to someone or something. That's my intention for the holiday season.
And very similar to yours, what I wanted to add for me is, and I've been practicing this for the last couple of years, it's less about the stress of getting a gift for everybody and more about gifting your energy to people that are, in gratitude, that are grateful for you, that are welcoming, that they elevate you rather than, dragging you, right? And that is also self-care, right? Not to allow yourself to be around the people that drains your energy. So, and that's the most amazing gift that you can give yourself and give others as well.
Yes. That's a great intention.
Yeah, I learned there's lots of lessons in the last couple of years.
So we want to give you a few tips to help you get through the holidays if you need them. So the first one we want to talk about is protecting your peace.
Big one.
It's a really big one. Yeah. So you're not obligated to sacrifice your mental health for togetherness. Okay? I know that depending on what kind of family system you live in, that might have been the case. But it's so important to ask yourself, what kind of boundaries do you need to feel safe? Okay? Set those for yourself. So this could mean like limiting time, right? So maybe you're going to just go for dessert. Maybe you're not going to have the full meal.
Yeah.
This may be figuring out that if you have to pick up and leave, like what you're going to say before you go, right? So you can do that. Or like, you know, you can say no to your family, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's probably the best way. In my opinion, that's the best way. But when you can't, you know, it's just, how do you set your own boundaries? How do you keep your peace? Find what that is for you. And if you have a partner that is with you, you talk about those things with your partner so that they are ready to pick up and go when you're ready to pick up and go. Right?
Have a plan.
Yeah. Have a plan.
Yeah,
have
I
a
love
plan.
that.
Yeah.
And I have to add that, you know, I've had so many times say yes to when I want to say no, right? And have grace for yourself when you say yes and you go and then, right? And just learn from the lesson.
Yeah. I think like it's really important that like if you are doing something that you wanted to say no to, that you are very, very gentle with yourself after, you know, have a plan for yourself to kind of reset.
Right.
I know I don't do well in big groups of people for a lot of time. My social battery is probably very short. So I know that if I'm going to go somewhere that I don't want to go, and I find that really hard, I always have some sort of ritual or something that I'm doing when I get home. I'm taking deep breaths. I'm centering myself. Maybe I'm indulging in a snack that I like to have or a show that I like to watch. You know, just how do you bring yourself back? Because for me, I was finding that I would be off for days, right? Because like I had taken in too much, I had given too much of my time and energy, and it wasn't always a good time. So I would feel it for days. Now I can reset myself after a day, and I don't have to.
Yeah. I totally understand that because I have experienced that myself too. Yeah. And being an empath, and I'm sure you are too. This happens, and if you know you're an empath, you will absorb other people's energy. So, actually, just to make a little side note, if you can get some of this and save yourself on the days that you are exposed to a lot of, you know, people and energies. Doing that at night, or like Palo Santo is one of my favorite ones because of the sweet smell. If you cannot handle sage, get yourself a little stick and burn a little bit at night or before the event. Clear your energy, clear the energy after. And that has been something that I've been doing because I work with people too. And being as we are Reiki practitioners, right? We gotta constantly do clean our energy. So
yes, absolutely. I think too, is also keep in mind that you can control your reaction. That's the only thing you can control. In your meditation, you did talk about like not really being able. We can't control other people, what they're going to say, what they're going to do. You know, and a lot of it is deflection, right? So when someone is talking to that changed my perspective altogether when I figured out that like it wasn't personal. It's not always about me. It's about how that person is feeling, what they're experiencing in their lives. They may not be able to be dealing with it. So where does it go? To you, right? And I had that really changed my whole way of interacting with people and absorbing what people are saying to me. Is like, what lens is that person speaking from, right? So just know that like you don't have to respond to everything, right?
100%.
You don't have to. You can go get more food. You can move into a joke, be kind of funny, ask about them. You know, people love talking about themselves. So if you are engaged in them, then you don't have to worry about what is, you know, what's going to come your way. So be more interested in the person.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, they like attention, like she said. They love to speak about themselves. So listen attentively and acknowledge and they will appreciate that, and your gathering and your interaction will go much, much easier.
Yeah. And I actually, I watch a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of people that are working in the therapy world. And one of the best responses that I ever heard from a coach was, he said, if someone says something to you that you don't like, you repeat that back to them. You say, did you really just say blah, 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 right? Whatever it is. And that person hears themselves back, and a lot of times you will hear maybe an apology or, oh, I didn't realize that it came off that way.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror. Yeah, you're mirroring who, because, I mean, sometimes we do say things without thinking.
Yes.
Right? And we don't realize that it might be.
It might be a little touchy.
Yeah.
It touches a nerve there. Yeah.
So what did we do? We said, have a game plan earlier, protect your peace. We talked about shifting to neutral when needed. So like make a joke or talk about them or bring up something. You can only control your reaction. And I think, do you have any other tips? Because the last tip I have is kind of a closer.
Yeah. And, the reason also, if it's too much to handle, right? Like some events and people might be very intense for you to take, just excuse yourself.
Yes.
Go to a space where you can feel safe, that you can feel that you're protecting and secure yourself. Could be the bathroom, could be a garden, whatever is available to you that you can be, in isolation, and just take a few deep breaths. And, just like I said in my meditation, I'll meet that person where they're at. It's again what you said, is not about you. Sometimes the things that are said are not that deep, but if you really are in a heavy energy, you might take it differently. And then, gotta remember, other people also project their own insecurities, or, they have a way of deflecting things and not taking responsibility. But you gotta remember, the only responsibility you have at the moment is taking care of your own energy and allowing yourself just the moment of breathing and just feeling that you're alive, and be grateful.
Yeah. Another tip I have is chart the things that you are very sensitive to right now. So I'll give you an example. When I was trying to conceive of my baby, it took us a very long time to do that. I knew that every gathering that I had to go to, there would be talks about babies, because I have a sibling that was very fertile. So it would be very easy for her to get pregnant. And I knew that would always be something that would come up at family gatherings. I'm European. Having babies is a huge celebrated thing. So I had to chart in my mind what were the things that I was sensitive at that time, right? And how was I going to deal with those situations, and what would my self-care be afterward? Or what would I get my partner to help me afterwards? Because I knew that was always going to trigger me. And it was something that I struggled with for a long time. Infertility is probably one of the things that you feel the most shame around, because your body isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing. So really chart what you're sensitive with, if you have the self-awareness to do that. And if you don't know, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I really sensitive to right now? And just listen. Our bodies are wonderful things. Our brains are dialed in. Okay? So just figure out where you're sensitive and what your triggers are going to be, and make a plan. And I guess the last tip that I have is give yourself grace and a pat on the back for being able to navigate tough situations. Even if you don't do it perfectly, there's really no perfect way. But if you feel you haven't done it perfectly, just give yourself that grace and be proud of yourself for going through those hard things.
We only doing our best too, and that's the only thing. Having that compassion for yourself, that you're doing your best with the awareness, the level where you are at, and you gotta remember that some people will not be at the same level of awareness that you are, and that's okay, right? It's allowing them to be where they're at without any judgment about them, about yourself, and it's just so much peaceful to allow people just to be themselves. I mean, I'm sure you will appreciate the same thing. If you're talking about something that you've learned, that you've worked on yourself, you will probably have the same expectation and appreciation for people to acknowledge that about yourself. So I feel like everybody's where they are at, and it's okay to be. My mom used to say this beautiful saying: "There is every type of grape in the vineyard of the Lord," right? And we're a world, we're in a universe, and there is all types of people. So you will come across every type of people, and that's just having grace for them and yourself.
Yeah, I think having compassion to also, everyone is actually trying to do their best, even if it doesn't mean, even if my version of doing my best, it doesn't match theirs. Everyone has a certain amount of tools. Some have more, some have less, but I really believe that we are all just trying to do our best. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, those are great tips.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think if you have anything that you'd like to share, please put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Maybe tips or tricks or things that you use to kind of help you take care of yourself through the holiday season, because it's a big one, right?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest one.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I think after Thanksgiving, I think it is one of those that really can bring people's personalities, especially if you're in an environment where there is a different cocktails of emotions. And I called also this emotional hygiene, because you will come up with a lot of emotional people or emotions and feelings as you integrate more into the social events. And it's important that you do your emotional hygiene before exposed to this. So as we covered a lot of tips and tricks and things that can help you to do that. And I feel like many people are not aware of emotionally where they're at. So it's important to have that awareness, and that's key number one in any of these events and things that we face during the holiday season.
All right, so we are going to be doing a holiday look. I think we both actually came with sort of the same story palette. I think that if you are a mature girly like myself, Laura Geller actually has an amazing makeup line, and I find that this brand here just stays the longest and it doesn't crease. So that's just something to keep in mind. What palette are you using?
So I'm using the Gold palette by Murphy. I just got this beautiful, and the reason why I got so attracted to is because it's gold.
I love it.
And I'm in my gold time of my life. So because I'm gold.
Yeah. No, that's so pretty in the middle. I love palettes that have that pop of color.
And it's got a good mixture because it's got some frosty colors. That one is the metal, and then it's got some of the darker colors are like more matte colors.
Yeah, and
so
I would say like some women are afraid to play with shimmer. Yes. I actually really love shimmer, but I think that if you don't like a lot of it, you can always just start by adding a very little bit and then pumping up the intensity. I feel like Vanessa and I love like a nice, beautiful, shimmery pop eye, and I think that it just looks so nice.
And you know what? I mean, I think the fear is that because shimmer can accentuate lines and texture, but it's selecting the right shimmer. And I find that I apply better with my fingers.
Yes.
Because the heat and the oils on our skin transfers a lot more intensity. And if you want to tone it down, you just do a little tap and apply, and good to go. And you just tapping motion can apply very naturally. If you want more intense, you can use a brush like this, and that will also apply. Or you can wet the brush if you know have no much texture. It will be, the application will be very intense. So pretty much I have my base.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna apply all these little things and touch up my base a little bit. So just touching up my base, and using just a nice fluffy brush here. Okay, and doing a little bit of contouring. I already have a little bit of contouring. I'm just making it a little bit more prominent here. And a good, how do you apply your contour? Do you do that?
I don't actually.
Just add your, I sometimes do as a guideline.
Yeah.
I normally don't anymore because I kind of know where it is.
Yep. I'm actually just putting a little bit of primer on my eyes. I find that it will make my eyeshadow last a lot longer. So I'm just putting that on. I'm going to let it dry. How I do my contouring is I just basically go up along the edges of my face. I take my contour kind of to just my cheekbone or under my cheekbone, and then a little bit nose sides of my nose.
Nice.
And depending on the day, sometimes I'll just use a powder, or if I want to underpaint, I will use a liquid one first and then put the powder on top. I actually did that today because for the camera, you have to wear a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically my recipe to contouring.
Awesome. And we have different, structure, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes the higher contour gives you like the high dimension, right? And it's the illusion of lifting.
Yes.
Which I love because obviously now that things are, kind of going down, right?
Yeah.
Gravity, we tend to have to contour differently. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of blush here, and this is just retouching what I already have. And I found this blush kind of has a little bit already, like shimmer is very subtle, because we're going to go with gold today, right?
Yes.
And that's gonna be something between the sacral and the solar plexus chakra.
Yes.
I know is an orange chakra that we're talking about today, but we decided to go with gold because of the holiday season too.
And also I think like the sacral chakra holds our sensuality and our sexuality, that energy there. And I think that it's great to use makeup to definitely, pump up the different things on our face, make our eyes pop. That's all that energy of sexy and confident, right?
That's right.
I think it's the perfect chakra to be covering during the season, right?
Exactly.
Because it also holds our joy and our happiness.
Yeah.
So it's a great tie-in, I think.
Yeah, I love it. And so I'm just going to enhance some of the eye work, shadow. So I'm gonna take a brush like this, kind of like a flat brush. I'm gonna go in my gold eyeshadow, which is a metallic texture color. And I'm just going, look how intense that is,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on the side that I don't have any shadow, and then just to spread it, because I think I put too much in the brush.
That's okay.
And, it's good if you sort of measure yourself. You can always remove tone it down a little bit, right? Sometimes less is more. You can start with less. I didn't realize this was really popping out.
It's
like
beautiful though.
Yeah. So take the excess out. So
I'm actually just taking a fluffy brush like this, and I'm just doing a base. So my primer has dried. I'm going to do a base, so it's just going to even out my lids.
wow, this is really intense.
It's pretty.
Wow, that's really gold.
Yeah. Well, you can always diffuse it with one of your matte colors too.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can always fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is very pretty on you though. It looks so pretty.
Love golds these days.
Put one light color on, and I'm going to go in with this sort of brown-ish. It's called Striking. And I'm going to use this brush that is, I don't actually know like what this brush is called, but I like it because I can actually just carve out my eye.
Beautiful.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
we call that windshield motions, right?
yes.
And the important thing, I see that you are actually extending it up.
Yes.
To lift
the eye.
Yeah, to lift the eye. Okay. So I'm using a similar brown like Josie here, just to kind of cut the crease a little bit more. And again, I tend to do this. I tend to lift my eye a little bit, so I don't apply it and makes my eye look like downwards, right? So when you're like going through, your eyes or your eyelids kind of get a little bit, with age, you want to lift up a little bit and see where you're applying it.
Yeah. And very gently, though. You can see that Vanessa is not pulling her skin. Mm-hmm. That's very important, that you're not pulling too tight, because you want it to sit naturally, right? Mm-hmm. If you're pulling your skin too tight, it kind of does a weird sort of effect.
Exactly.
So be so gentle with yourself. The skin on our eyes and under our eyes are actually the most sensitive.
Yeah, this is, as an esthetician, I've learned that it's the first skin that shows more age. Like it is so thin. It's the thinnest skin in your body, the under eye, and the neck as well. So
that's right.
Important to moisturize and hydrate your neck skin too. Beautiful.
Yeah. And when you're working, make sure you stop to check, right?
Yeah.
Each step you stop to check, because you want to kind of know where you're going. And then you want to be able to correct if you're not going where you want to go.
Exactly. And I love to do my makeup when there is a lot of light.
Me too.
And also in a big mirror, so I can see, because even when I used to do makeup on people, I had to stand right in front of them and keep checking to make sure that both sides were the same.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing of being an artist. That's always check, because you've got to stop.
Yeah.
Look at what you're doing. You got to see if you have to correct or whatnot.
All right.
Let's see.
I know, and this is it. This is like, I might have to accentuate with the darker color, but so far I like what I see. It's natural still.
Yeah.
So what are we using?
I'm actually going to use this Pixie by Petra. I actually don't even know if this is still on the market. I believe it is, but it's Sunray. And I'm going to go for more of a chunky glitter look. So if you can see that there,
beautiful.
It's kind of chunky. But I like this wand because you can just put it right on top. So I'm just close my eye, and I'm going to go from the center, or from the corner, to the, you don't have to go all the way, right?
It's beautiful.
Okay, the other one.
So you just put it in 1/3 of your eye?
Yes.
And then you spread it, or you just leave it there?
It depends what I feel like. I want to make sure that it kind of blends, so sometimes I will spread it. I'm going to take a look at it now and just see.
See it on the bigger mirror.
I actually really like this. Okay, so if you don't want such a punchy look, you can take your whatever you're using and just tap. Right?
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a cut crease.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm.
Very, very simple though. We don't want to freak you guys out if you're new to makeup.
Yeah.
You know.
It looks beautiful. And as you can see, if you can see at the camera, it doesn't look like she's accentuating the texture in her eyelids. It looks very diffuse. It looks beautiful. Yeah. Love it.
Really pretty.
Oh, it's so beautiful for the holiday season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have very similar tastes in the looks
I believe
that we want. And because I have lash extensions on, I will not do an eyeliner today.
Okay.
But if you did want to do like a subtle eyeliner, you could always use a flat brush with the deepest color in your palette, and you can just gently go over your eyelid. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, because I have big lids. I have a lot of space, and I don't have the lashes, so I will be doing eyeliner. I am gonna go now with. This is a brush that I use for my highlighter. So I brought. This is actually an eyeshadow.
Okay.
But it's more like loose powder, and it's a very subtle gold. It's kind of like a. Do you see like a rose gold?
Yes, it's pretty.
So beautiful, and I like it because it's really fine. And so what I do for highlights, I tend to do it right there.
Yes.
Cheekbone area.
Yes.
And this brush sort of like deposits really nicely because it's a very natural way to see how beautiful fine that is.
Yeah. I use this one, which is a fan. You can also use this one also. I actually didn't do my blush yet, so I'm going to do that while Vanessa does that. And the palette that I'm using is by Sigma. It's Berry Glow, but it comes with a highlighter and a blush as well. Yeah, but using something like an eyeshadow is a great way.
I do love highlighters, and I tend to buy highlighters a lot. But I found this eyeshadow and I said, oh, I don't need to spend money.
And I think that if you are a mature skin girly like we are, highlighters can sometimes show texture.
Of course.
So it really depends what your skin type is. If you don't want to use a powder highlighter, I also suggest using a liquid highlighter. And the way I use that is I put a little bit on the top of my hand, I put my finger in it, warm it up, and then just lightly tap it. So you have your options if you find that you find that you have texture on your skin and you don't want to accentuate that.
Yeah, I find that also with the liquid highlighters, you build it in with your foundation, and it just looks like you're highlighted from the inside out, like you radiate, right?
Yes.
I mean, I only do it, so I put my foundation, then the next layer will be the highlighter.
Yeah.
And by the time I put my powders, it just comes through so beautifully. Yeah. It accentuates a lot.
For me, because I have combination to oily skin, sometimes it will give me too much shine. So it really depends how you set your face, right? But for me, it will make me look greasy. So I usually don't do that. But that is a great tip for people that have dry to...
Right.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit of more glowy look if they want all over glow.
Yes. So for my highlighter, I usually put it right on the tops of my cheeks.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful color.
Yeah, it's very nice. Sigma is actually, I don't find a lot of people talk about Sigma makeup, but they are an untapped brand. Like, they are amazing. They make such good lipsticks. They're not just brushes, right?
Yeah. And this one is one of my favorite eyebrow Pencils, because it's got the built-in brush, and it's got the color I use is brown by Essence, and this is like just a couple of bucks at the ground. So this is my eyeliner. Let's go. See if I can do it from here. So one tip that I can give everybody is bring the mirror a little bit more higher on the bottom and look down, and then anchor yourself, because sometimes it gives you more stability. And I start at the corner so I can see where I am starting the end, and then I look if I like the height, or if I want to add more, just to close that gap there. And then I close my eyes and I stretch a little bit my eyebrow at the corner. Sometimes I just leave the end of 3/4.
Perfect. Yep.
Right? And then I just go with more mascara to fill it in. But sometimes I don't fill it in the whole eye. I could for more drama, but I just like it just the end, and it just gives you that beautiful cat eye without too much to...
Yes, and if you think that black is too harsh, you could always go with a deep brown or a plum. It makes it look a lot less harsh. I know I really love a black eyeliner, but since I started putting my own lashes in, I stopped doing it because it doesn't need as much. But I have had to experiment with different colors of eyeliners because it depends what you want. Black can be very intense for a lot of people, but just know that there are other options also.
Yeah, I love a plum, and actually these colors will look really good with a dark brown or a plum.
Yeah.
So you always have options there. And so I realized, do you see here right there? I took my shadow went all the way past my eye, right here at the corner.
Yep.
So I'll just take a light eyeshadow that's very similar to powder.
Yep.
And then just kind of tap it here to kind of...
Perfect. Yeah, to define more and to lift, to have that lifting. Yeah.
Exactly. Right there, and it's fixed. It's almost like an eraser, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you always have that option to take off the extra. When I used to do makeup on people and I made mistakes, I learned so many tips on how to actually, take away things, right?
Absolutely.
The one thing I will say was the most challenge for me was eyeliner, because...
Oh gosh, yes.
Having a steady hand on myself, I can do it, but not on other people was always the most challenging thing.
Yeah, so pretty.
Nice. And it's not a lot, because I find sometimes that when I put a lot of makeup, sometimes I feel like it ages me.
Yes,
depending on the colors too, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I think that I have, actually Gail will always say this too, I have perfected the no makeup look, and it takes a lot of practice on what product to use, what looks best. Everyone's skin type is different. What do you personally like, right?
Yeah.
So, some people might like a heavy eyeliner on the eye. Other people are like, that's not their thing. So it's a lot of experimentation and getting to know your face and being comfortable with the way you want to present yourself to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something that we all learn, but it's always good to learn new tips and techniques of how to, because, you don't have to be doing the same thing over again. Right? I think it's important to get to know your own face structure to learn how to enhance the beauty that you already have.
Yes.
And then, so when you learn on yourself really good, it can lead you to learn on other people as well.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just gonna use my I have an angle brush, and this is just a contouring for the nose. I like to contour my nose, not too much, because I feel like I have such a big nose. Like it's so pointy. So I find that when you do this trick, it kind of helps too.
Yeah, my nose has actually been my biggest insecurity through my whole life.
Mm.
So I've had to use some, of my own, figure out how I like to contour it.
Yeah.
This is actually the Stila Stay All Day lipsticks, and I didn't really try this brand until I found it on sale, and it came with 2. So it was this dark one or like an orange undertone, but I really like.
Yeah, that's a beautiful color, especially for the, holiday season. Yeah, I wore it before. I find out for my lips, it makes them very dry. Yeah. So I sometimes use like a lip mask before to kind of condition it.
Yeah.
And I use a little bit of lip balm, like a tinted lip balm on top, to sort of give it a little bit of more, hydration. Because I have dry lips already. And yeah, that was the only thing. But I love the long-lasting effect that they have. And it's so pigmented. I love it so much.
Yes, I use a mask throughout the day, and then I actually use one at night that is more of a medicated one. I've always had issues with dry lips. And I would say, I probably don't drink as much water as I should. I feel like that is kind of a hard thing, but, we do our best, and finding the products that work and make us feel confident and look confident is fine.
Exactly. I'm just gonna run my eyeliner a little bit more in the center.
I'm actually going to use like a lifter plump by Maybelline. It's a little bit plumping, and so if you don't like a burning lip plumper, this one is not the one for you. But if you can withstand a little bit of plumping, this is a great one, actually.
I am going to say that if you really want to plump your lips with a product, it comes with that effect. Like, you cannot plump your lips without that effect.
Yeah. I do have another one by, what's Rihanna's brand?
Fenty.
And I have a plumper in a brown color, and that one does not feel as spicy as this one. So if you are into spicy, this one is amazing. And I find that it does plump my lips a little more.
One of my favorite ones, I think, is Too Faced. It's called a lip injection. I haven't had it in a while, but I love it. The thing is, I have to confess, I got my lips injected.
Did you? How did that go?
Painful.
Yeah.
And if you want to get it done, please prepare yourself with a lot of breathing because it does hurt. And my lips definitely still have a little bit of filler. You can see some little bumps there.
Yeah, but you didn't overdo it. And it looks so natural.
It was, in the beginning, it always plumps a lot, but it comes down.
Yeah.
So you have to prepare yourself for that. I don't regret it doing it, but I don't know if I'll do it again. And I'm happy with my lips now.
Yeah.
Because I had no lip whatsoever.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit left, and it's just...
Yeah, I've always had small lips. I would say definitely there are ways to make them look bigger with product. I would never rule out never trying it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that with our ages and stages, it's always okay to embrace what it is that you would like to do. I don't know your stance on that, but I am very much open to, you need to do what you think is right for you, and that is the most important thing, regardless of what anyone says.
Yeah. And I think working in that industry, you know, I was, at one point I looked at very negatively, in a sense that I went into this 360 change and said, okay, you know, I don't want to get things in my face.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through that journey, but I think, you know, to each his own.
Yes.
Number one, if you're happy, you know, feeling more confident in doing that, absolutely. You just gotta get yourself ready, you know, because sometimes can be painful, especially if you're more on the sensitive side.
Yeah.
If it's comfortable for you, and I'm all for that, right?
Absolutely.
So sometimes we do need that extra oomph in our lives, and if injectables can give you that, absolutely, I would probably say do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that if it's going to boost your confidence, it's going to make you feel better about yourself, and you want to present in that way, that it's 100% okay. Yeah. And we shouldn't be judging each other anyways. I mean, we're all women. We all have our journey, and we get to be who we want to be, and whoever doesn't like that, they don't have to be around.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. All right, so I think I am pretty much done with my makeup.
Me too.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. So
yes.
do you. Oh my
See,
gosh.
it only took not even an hour to do this.
Yeah.
In the holiday season, you want to spend a little bit of extra time. Give yourself that time, and it's very meditative sometimes, because you're creating something beautiful, something. So for the holidays, and you know, it doesn't have to take a lot of time, a lot of products. I think I have more brushes than you.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you know, it's all amazing, and I hope that you enjoy this application for the holiday season. You look so beautiful.
Thank you. So do you. We hope that just watching us do our makeup, that kind of encourages or inspires you to do something this year, even if it's like putting on a lipstick or a little bit of rouge on your cheeks, right? It doesn't have to be crazy. You just want to enhance what you want to enhance. So we hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, and I love the natural look, because she still has shimmer, but it's still beautiful and natural, and it's your lip that you want to focus on, which is great.
Yeah, this gold is amazing on your eyes. And I like how you did more of a muted lip, because you don't want people to fight that. What are they looking at, your lips or your eyes?
Yeah, I always actually love doing my eyes more than my lips.
Me too.
Right? So I love the lashes. For some reason, I can never find a time for myself to do lashes.
Okay.
But I do have a really good mascara, and I love these brushes because it gets every hair of your lash. So it enhances and it brings it all up. And once it's dry, I do this, but not too hard, because otherwise you can break them. So just being mindful of little things like that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching, guys. And I hope you have fun this holiday season, and that you feel and you look your best.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that you have enjoyed our holiday edition. We hope that we've given you lots of tools. We hope we have encouraged you to put on some blush and a nice lip gloss, or you know,
nice gold.
Yes, gold, all the golds.
Yes.
You know, maybe dress up this year for your holiday, because I think it's always nice to do something like that.
Yes. But, and I love this, by the way.
Oh,
thank you so much. I love it.
So yeah, we hope that you have the most amazing holiday, full of love and peace and joy. And we're so humbled that you would come and sit and spend time with us. So we look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Yes.
With some new stuff.
Ooh,
we're so excited. Yes. So Yeah, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate, please make sure that you're doing it with the utmost good intention.
Yeah.
And just make sure you're being kind, because we don't know what people are going through every day.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. And, focus and enjoy. It's in every little moment. It doesn't have to be a grandiose moment.
That's right.
And kindness, love, self-care, self-love goes a long way.
Yeah.
So have a beautiful holiday season, everybody. Be safe, be loving, be prosperous, and be harmony with yourselves and with others.
We'll see you next time.